what the public wants to find out is this 5 billion Bank of Ghana mentioned as the receipts from gold out of the 9.2 billion that left this country, everything. How much is staying here? I brought a few figures.
Okay.
We don't have time.
Okay.
I'll show you the figures for 2022. Sorry, 2023. So you see the state of play. Next week we'll delve into the details properly. But before that, I think I have a video.
Okay.
Next time I'll give you the full video.
What's the video about?
It's about, I told you about mining in forest reserves.
Yes.
The Newmont one.
Okay.
But I think they prefer to show us the figures.
Okay. No. So please, let's see that. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, so...
Newmont's biodiversity. Okay.
So Newmont Achim. Newmont has 2 big projects in Ghana. 1.5, one in Achim. They are developing a 3rd mine. Kilometers of Achim. Part of the concession of Newmont Achim is in a forest reserve. Part of it. They call it Agendia Beppo Forest Reserve. All the stuff you are seeing there are reclaimed. These were mined out areas. Unfortunately, the video is about an hour, but this is just excerpts. Next week we'll delve into it. So you can see the whole road. Yes, so these are the kind of things we are talking about. All these are reclaimed. And these are the kind of things that I have been talking about, that we could do things properly. Okay, so that's the former Deputy Minister for Mines and Lands and Natural Resources. So these are reclaimed areas. This is an open pit operation. They are about to go underground now. So this is what I use in justifying allowing mining, not just in forest reserve, but in particular the underground. Because the underground, it will remain intact. So all these are reclaimed areas.
So this is Newmont.
This is Newmont.
I'm sure that the others will come and show us videos.
No, those are Randy, I want you to separate lawful mining in forest reserve where they follow all the protocols, all the rules. Like this one, you can see they're walking through. These are reclaimed areas. 3 times what Forestry Commission has given them. As against the illegal mining. Don't let us mix the two. In fact, people in Ghana, when you say Galamsey, they think it's small-scale mining. But Galamsey is illegal. That is mining without appropriate approvals authorization. Separate that from persons or entities that have licenses to do small-scale lawfully, either on the surface or underground. Don't let us mix the two. So Galamsey is not small-scale mining. Galamsey is illegal small-scale mining. Illegal. You don't have the approvals or the authorization.
But for the Ghanaian out there, Martin, for the Ghanaian out there.
The anger, I know, the anger is somebody going to the forest. So for instance, assuming this was not for Newmont, perhaps people could have gone in there trying to help. So the moment we color it, the moment we mix what is law, that's why I keep saying that, look, even if we don't want it to be done lawfully, that's a debate we can have. But people tend to color or mix the illegalities that are going on. Of course, Ghanaians want to know how come that illegality, people can just get up and go to a forest and go and destroy stuff. That's legitimate. And the outrage, the anger, and all those things. I mean, so that is it.
All right.
So these are all reclaimed areas. We'll have more detailed video.
Okay.
But then back to half-year performance, because I have barely 10 minutes and I need to rush out of here. So unfortunately, the cocoa discussions took most of our time. So, Randy, last year, let me give you a figure. Last year, the entire receipt from mining was 7.8 billion.
Yes.
The entire receipt from mining.
Yes.
7.8 billion. As against
USD.
Yes, USD. 7.8 billion dollars. As against about 13.6 billion everything. Then gold alone brought us 7.6. Gold alone, so 7.8 billion. That's the receipt from mining. Gold alone gave us 7.6.
Huh? 7.6 out of 7.8.
Yes. The other $200 million has to do with manganese and bauxite. You know, that's why we call them high volume, low value minerals. Okay? Now, the previous year, 2022, it was 6.8 billion. So that means there was 1 billion addition in total receipts in 2023. But then gold alone was 6.6. So gold was 6.6 in 2002, and then 2023, 7.6. Now, the average price of gold in 2022 was $1,800. Average price of gold in 2023 was $1,940. Okay? There were only 2 months, April and December last year, that we had 2,000. And look at the price as we speak now. The table speaks for itself. Randy, last year, just last year, the mining companies returned $4.2 billion back to this country. Yes. So when I hear people saying that, oh, the money stays offshore, I say, because people don't have a call or data. Let me speak Ghanaian English. People don't have the information. Last year, 2023, official figures, and even this one is only those who are even members of the Chamber of Mines, because some people are not members of the Chamber of Mines. So the figure here shows that 4.2 billion, okay? And these are figures that we cross-check with the...
4.2 out of the 7.6.
4.2 out of even 5.9. Because not everybody is a member of the chamber.
Okay.
There are other small, medium-sized companies like Accra Gold and Co. that are not members of the chamber. Do you understand?
But they don't qualify?
No, it's freedom of association.
Okay.
Okay, so that's constitutionally guaranteed. So 4.2 billion out of 5.9
came back.
Of those who are, most of the big players are in the chamber and they came back. So that's about 71% of the figure came back. Then out of that, 1.6 billion went as receipts to government. Receipts, so like royalties, corporate income tax, which now by far is the biggest, and withholding tax and other things. So that is it.
So what happened to the rest?
Well, 2.5 billion local content, goods and services.
Okay.
So if you add 1.6 to government, 2.5 billion, it talks about 4.1 billion. Then 274 million on power, fuel alone. Randy, these are monies that came back. Then I'll give you additional statistics. Bank of Ghana has 3 arrangements with the mining companies. 3. They have this, they call it obligatory surrender, where if the mining companies bring their money, part of their money is given to Bank of Ghana and then they take cedis. In 2023, Bank of Ghana got $784 million. They'll give them the dollars.
So that's about 10%.
Yes, and they'll give them the cedis.
That's about 10%.
Yes. Then the second category, where if the mining companies want to dispose of any dollar, Bank of Ghana has a right to purchase it first, before anybody. Last year, $716 million. So they're giving us the dollar and we're giving you cedis. And then we're buying any forest you want to give.
1.5 billion.
1.5 billion. Do you understand that? That's the second arrangement. The third arrangement is a purchase of gold. So in 2022, Bank of Ghana bought 93,799. So if you like, roughly 94,000 ounces of gold. Last year,
which value is?
Let's multiply it by 1,800 if you like.
Okay.
Last year, they bought 447,492. So roughly, if you like, 450,000 ounces. Multiply it by an average price of 1940. So it means that even if Bank of Ghana wants to sell, even what do you call it? This 447. This is the one they purchased last year alone. That's a lot of money, because last year the average price was 1940. Now the average price of gold right now, as we speak, is about 2,500. So it means that Bank of Ghana can make like $600 on an ounce if they want to sell their gold. But of course, we use it to ensure our reserves. So these are the facts that people don't have. Because was it 2-3 days ago, or was it yesterday, one Dr. Tuya, one of the banking experts, called in and was saying that we get so much remittances and that billions have been exported in gold. The state only got about 800 million. And I thought that the likes of him need this kind of information. How many people in Ghana know that out of 71% of the receipts were returned to this country. So if $4.2 billion was returned by the mining companies back into this country, and the Bank of Ghana is telling us, that is 2023, and the Bank of Ghana is telling us that our total export last year was about 13.6 billion. It means that a third of our foreign exchange receipts came from this money. At first, Bank of Ghana used to give the what do you call it, the commercial banks these dollars and that kind of thing. So the companies return the money to the central bank and the commercial banks. So you can see what gold is doing to this economy. Things will have been very different. So if these are just 2023 figures, you can imagine the figures for 2024, where half year alone we have done 5 billion. I have a few here, I'll mention them, and then I'll wrap up. Next week I'll give the fine details because I have a meeting fixed at 11 o'clock. Maybe I have to protest that next time you end them at 10 o'clock because they get more time. A few figures and you see something interesting. So, for example, if you take, because you are interested in knowing the impact of all this in the economy. So that is the impact for 2023. $4.2 billion. That is 71% of the receipts were returned to this country. So the small difference that stayed outside were primarily to pay for equipment that we don't manufacture here. You understand that? They are also meant to service loans. So, Randy, it means that if we were manufacturing inputs here, like South Africa do, if we are raising money here locally, everything will come back. That's what it means.
Yep.
So it means that the future for us when it comes to mining is to encourage local manufacture of the various inputs we use. Do you understand that? And one is quite straightforward, the mining financing that I'm talking about. I'm quite proud that one company could raise $180 million locally. So it means that the more money you raise locally, either through various pension funds and then what do you call it, stock exchange and all those things, the less you have to take out. Because if you're taking the money out, you only charge withholding taxes. And then that ends it there. An interesting figure I just got from one of the companies. So, for instance, if you take my favorite fuel, I'm just looking at the figure for fuel. New Motachin. And then that of a Ahafo. You will see local spend alone about $41 million. So half year, just Newmont. That's the amount of money they spent. And then if you take fuel, that's about 14 million. So there's a lot of money that is being kept here locally. If you have one company spending just $14 million on fuel, and now fuel is preserved for Ghanaians. So when people say we are not getting anything from mining, I don't understand it. Maybe we are not benefiting as much as you see in Australia or South Africa. One thing about South Africa is that they manufacture many of their inputs locally. So unfortunately today we didn't have much time, but then those are the 2022 figures. Next week I'll bring the table so that you see it in proper perspective. It's quite interesting what mining is doing for this economy. So that is it. In 2022, small scale was 17.6% of total production. It jumped to 27.7%, and half year you are talking about 42%. So those are the figures we have for last year. It's mind-blowing and it's quite interesting. One more thing I wanted to add. If you take half year for one of the mining companies, they have spent about $126 million, roughly 127. That is 126 million, 126.7. And then locally they spent 126.2. So there's this $400 million that they imported. So what the research we do at Mincom is just to make sure that many of the things that they file with us that they import, we keep them locally. So it's quite interesting. I foresee exciting times this year. 2022 export was 3.8 million ounces. Last year 4.1. And this year we might do 5 million.
5 million?
Yes, of gold. And we are likely to cross 10 billion. So that my 10 billion perhaps is just the lower limit.
And is it because of new mines or expansion to existing mines?
Four things.
Okay.
The high price, which is by far the key determinant.
So that is making the companies expand?
No, that's number one. And high price means that you make more money. Because if you're selling an ounce last year,
I was just looking at the ounces because you said that there's an increase in the ounces.
I'm leading you to a certain direction. Last year, the average price of gold the whole year was 1940. 2022 is 1800, except April and December, which was around 2000. As we speak, the price of gold is 2,500. You understand? So when the price is high, that means that they make more money.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that is it. Then grades that they couldn't produce. It means that last year, if it was costing a particular company, let's say it will have cost a particular company $2,000 an ounce to produce a particular grade. Now,
for which reason?
Now they can do it and even make $400-500 on it.
Which makes
Last
sense.
year they couldn't do it. They could only stockpile. Okay, so it means that if he's producing low grades now, his production will go up. So if he was doing, let's say, 200,000 ounces, he may now do 250 or 300 because now he can produce the low grades. Then there are new ones that are.
So help me with something. When you talk about the grades, what it means is that if we see a price of, let's say, 2.4 per ounce, it doesn't cut across.
It doesn't cut across. That's why when people say, oh, because I've started getting a lot of pressure. Oh, tell government to increase royalties. Tell government to go for more money. Randy, there are companies producing gold $2,000 an ounce.
Because?
Grade is low.
Okay.
Some are doing 0.9.
Okay. So
some are doing 0.7.
So the prices we mentioned are for the highest grade?
Yes.
Which is?
No, that's how much an ounce of gold is sold on the international market.
Of which grade?
Oh, I will not say of which grade because there are companies that are doing 1,100, 1,200. Okay, so I come out say almost discount.
Okay.
Some are doing 1,300, some 1,004, 1,005. Okay, some are doing 1,700, some are doing 1,008.
And it has to do with the grade of the ore.
The grade of the ore.
Mine.
That is the amount of gold in the rock.
Yes.
Do you understand? The grade. So some are doing maybe 1 gram per ton, 1.5, 1.7.
So depending on the grade of the ore, it costs company A more than it costs company B.
Company B.
Okay.
So and these figures are available. So for example, Newmont is producing an ounce of gold around 1,200.
Okay.
Asante is doing 2,000.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
So if you increase royalties now, you collapse Asante.
Okay.
Okay. That 400 they are making is what keeps the jobs, what keeps the supplies, and that provides.
And that has to do with the quality of the ore.
Yes.
Okay.
So then when somebody gets up, so increase. So even if you have to increase, you have to look at the cost.
Yeah.
Do you now?
So you do an average of the cost,
so
the industry cost.
Yes, the industry cost and all those. Before you increase it, let's say those of you are doing this at this cost, that is it. But if you just get up and say, oh, now I'm hiking royalty to 7%, some of the mines will close down. Do you understand? They have to do cost cutting. And then remember also that when they are making money, we not only get more in receipt or they spend, but also they put more money aside to do exploration. You see, what? No, I've not even, and these are surface operations. What about underground? You see, underground, some are 4 grams per ton, some of them are 5 grams, etc. So the grade in Obuasi is not the same as Wasan underground. You see, so the slightest cost, increase in cost, the first people that will suffer are the underground operations because they have to maintain ventilation. I mean, what is ventilation? If you say open pit, what is ventilation? You see, but underground, assuming this is underground.
So it costs more.
It costs more to operate an underground mine. So
the operation overheads are higher.
Yes, but at a certain price, definitely I'll tell government increase.
Okay.
I'll tell at a certain price. I'll tell government. I mean, if gold price should hit, let's say 2,900, 3,000, we can't look at that. We can't just look at them like that. We have to take more. Okay, so that one is a fact. If you are producing 1,500 and gold price is 3,000 or 2,800, I'll be the first to tell government, let's raise the royalties. You see it? Let's increase this, let's increase this, let's increase this. You see? And I mean, they get it. They can't look into our face and say, oh, we are not making money. They cannot. We'll sit down with them and say, look, where the price now, worst case scenario, you are still making money. So
I appreciate there's a windfall.
Yeah, give us something small. Okay? Yeah, but it's early days yet. Let's see how, I mean, when it's heading
So what's the royalty?
Royalty is 5%. Everybody is paying 5 now. Okay. Everybody has entered the 5% zone. Okay. But around 2.7, 2.8, I'll tell government, hey, do something.
Is it the same for small scale?
No, small scale, there is 1.5%. They don't pay royalty, they just pay the withholding tax.
Which is 1.5?
Yes, 1.5.
So small scale mining companies don't pay royalty?
They don't pay royalty.
It's only the large scale?
Yes, it's only the large
Why?
scale.
What's the reason?
It is very difficult to collect.
Why? And they register with you?
They are registered, but you see, you need to formalize the sector properly.
So if I'm in a community and we don't have a large scale mine and there are only small scale mining companies, we won't benefit royalties.
The fact is that they even struggle to produce to the extent that we have to buy machines for them.
Yeah, but now your data is showing us that small scale is really contributing a lot. The last time we checked, they're doing about 2 billion or so. Yes.
Ronnie, let me ask you, if you go to the market, you know the taxes that they pay, it varies.
Yes.
Yes. And some of the big shops, they have to charge that even.
Shouldn't they pay at least a 1%?
The small scale?
Yes.
Yeah, so
at least for the communities to also benefit something.
Well, what's the essence? But you are working there. You understand? You go to a whole community and you find several hundreds of people working. Okay? So let's pay something to government. But if you tax them so much, then you drive them into...
Because the withholding tax goes to government.
The withholding goes, GRA.
So that's why I'm saying that, let's say 2 adjoining communities.
But Randy, this is the mistake people make.
Okay.
Must everything to go to government. So I've just given you 2023 figures. Direct taxes paid to government is 1.6 billion. Royalties, payee, and corporate income tax. Then the company spent 2.5 billion on goods and services. You add it 4.1 billion. Electricity 274. When citizens make more money, governments, get some breathing space. So everything must not go to government. Okay? We are not a communist country. Okay?
Right.
So if you can just tax the small scale people a little bit and a lot of them are gainfully employed, you have your peace of mind. Or else crime will go up. So if you tax them too much, then they say, they will go into illegality. So I need to be correcting those facts that everything must go into government. If even government gets 1 billion and then Ghanaians get 10 billion in their pockets through various supplies, we should be a great.
But they will also pay taxes to government.
They also pay taxes. Yes. They also pay taxes because those who so for example, the 275 million they paid for electricity, there are various taxes on them.
Yes.
You understand that? So the taxes cut across. That's it. And then they spend money. I mean, when you go to the small-scale mining communities, they spend a lot. A lot of the petrol stations are owned by them. Oh yeah, they have money.
I have friends like that in the Takwa area.
But all jokes apart, we got to fix the environmental issues.
Yeah.
So I'll have to rush out.
Okay.
Next week we'll have more time.
Right.
That is it. Thursday maybe. Thursday I have a program. Wednesday I have a program. So either you put me on Friday. Or you put me on Tuesday.
We'll fix something.
We'll
fix something.
Arrangement. I can let the experts come and discuss.
We'll fix something.
Okay. So I'll have to leave you for today.
Okay.
But the next time you should give you the real figures, how much the companies are spending on this 5 billion.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
Did you know that they return so much? Because the information out there is that they keep everything there. It's not true. Okay? So they have to pay the loans they took from outside. They have to pay for the machinery. So that's why in one of our series, I listed 5 things that if we need to get there, we have to take seriously.
Yeah.
financing.
Maybe we need to repeat that.
Oh yeah, financing of.
We need to do that again.
If we can raise all the money here to finance, I mean, the companies tell me that, oh, if you can give us $500 million, why do we have to go and raise money from outside? Do you understand? And then you don't have to repatriate, or you don't have to ask him to retain some, and you charge withholding tax. Okay, Asante raised $180 million locally. So others should be able to raise 500 million. So somebody called me from Senate and said, why are you always on us? Okay. I said, I'm not condemning
the
you.
person did.
No, because I keep telling them they should come and buy gold. I said this thing last year. So if they have bought gold January, in fact, if they have bought gold last month, an additional $100 on it. So I'll keep saying this thing.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Martin, for joining
And
me.
it's you and I, our money.
Thanks for watching.